I know it's easy to say it's going insane, but I mean, really, do we even know what this world, do we know who we are? Do we know where we're going? Do we know what's going on? And oh, by the way, why is North Korea now jumping in the mix? And they've just successfully fired a hypersonic missile, which is a technology they weren't even supposed to have. So what else do they have that we don't know what they got? What has Iran got that we don't know about? And oh, by the way, while we're talking about all that military threat that goes on everywhere, there's all kinds of stuff that's spinning out of control. Canary Islands. I mean, is that thing going to break off? The smog. China, they say the smog's so bad. I mean, things are out of control and everybody's broke now. All the banks are starting to topple in both China and the United States. Prices of food are soaring, Ronnie. Oil is soaring. Supply chains are becoming more and more volatile. So, folks, let me just say right now, we need answers. We're going to ask Ronnie McMullen from GetTheTea.com. That's Ronnie McMullen from GetTheTea, www.GetTheTea.com, if he can help us. Ronnie, great to have you today.
Thank you for letting me be on the show.
Hey, I tell you, it's a pleasure. It's an honor. And Ronnie, can you make any sense of all of this? Is it just bad karma, or are we over-exaggerating? What's going on?
Well, I don't think we're over-exaggerating. I think we have some issues going on that's happening. But we also are being played into a different illusion, a different belief system than what is real. And part of that is when we watch the television and we watch the CNNs and the Foxes and the NBC and CBS, so on and so forth, MSNBC, let's not forget Bill Gates' little enterprise. We're watching the illusion they want us to have faith and believe in. And let me explain that. So my sponsored race car raced this last weekend. And by the way, we won first place. We finished first place. So get the tea that makes you go. Yeah.
That's right. It will make you go. So you're sponsoring a race car and you guys won.
We won first place.
Awesome.
Yeah. And maybe first place overall. We're still waiting for the results of that. But anyway, to say this, a couple things happened that was really interesting on the race. I always try to look deeper than what I can see. So we had a area of time that we didn't have to race. So I went back to the motel and I thought, I'll watch the news. So I don't know which newscast it was, but it was one of the newscasts. 30 minutes I watched. And let me tell you something. When I turned it off, I was full of fear. It was like fear. Getting drunk on fear. And not only that, the newscasters weren't just saying, and today this happened, and today blah, 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 and tomorrow this and this. It was this. Hey, Joe, can you believe what happened? Oh, do you think we're going to be able to withstand this new decision that so-and-so made? Oh, my. It's like they're actors and actresses making bigger the problem than what it really is. Because if you influx your voice, I can make people cry or I can make people happy by how I use my voice. And that's exactly what they're doing. So 30 minutes of TV, I turned it off and I'm going, man, I feel sick to my stomach. And I walked outside and everybody's got situations going on that's medical and they're in their walkers and, people with masks, people without masks, most people with masks. And I just thought, and you act like the intruders are going to attack you, which is not true.
No.
So what's interesting is what was killing me was not the intruders, was the fear. And I thought, this is what's going on. So later on, the race starts and we see this one berm where people are going, the cars are going into getting stuck because it's so deep. It's about a 6-foot berm. And I was looking at that. Instead of looking at the car getting stuck, I thought about my life getting stuck. How many of us out there are getting stuck because we're seeing this new illusion? We don't even have in my opinion, we don't even have leadership over the United States, at least legal. So what I'm looking at is we're sitting here being forced to follow this illusion and we're in a rut, and people are scared. Fear.
Wow.
So how do you get out of the rut? And this is the kicker. This is the key that turns us over. How do we get out of the rut? We're stuck in the mud. We're throttling through, but we're not getting anywhere. How do we do this? And it just came to me. We got a full power throttle, which full throttle power is not accepting the illusion and living our own. So I'll start with this. I had a friend of mine who I've known over 50 years who just passed away with COVID. He worked 40 years in the grocery industry, working on a retirement that he didn't receive $1 of. Not $1. And I thought about that. How many of us work for the buck? We work our lives over, and we call it retirement. I'm going to retire. And we think about this retirement like retirement is a separate life. We have this life, and then when I retire, I'm going to have this new house or this new car, or I'm going to live in this certain place or whatever I'm going to do. So it's a new life. But it's almost ignoring the life now. And right now, we can't ignore this life. We need to pay attention to it because we're handing our supercomputer, our power that God has given us, we're handing it over to the bad guy.
Yeah.
And the bad guy is saying, oh, now we have your power. Now go over in the corner of this happy camp and you'll be fine. And that's not the way it's going to be. There's more good guys than bad guys. And we have to remember that. If we turn the TV off and start retiring now, when I say that, meaning you've got grandkids, go buy them an ice cream. You know, you got mom and dad, give them a kiss. You know, do something, go out to a nice dinner. Do stuff that you don't normally do and enjoy life. And just go with the flow about enjoying life. Use your retirement now. Not that there's not going to be retirement, but live your life now.
Yeah, live life now. Don't say, well, I got to get this all done. I got to wait till I'm a certain age. I got to, and then I'm going to retire. Live your life as you're going through life, as you're working. Yes, you're raising a family, whatever it is you have a business, whatever you're doing, but take time to smell the roses. That's what I'm hearing you say. Don't live in the fear. Don't live in the fear and anxiety and the depression and all the things that come, waves of things that come against people and emotions that paralyze them from having joy, is what I'm hearing you say.
Yes, exactly. We have countries that are doing some really terrible, dastardly deeds. I mean, that's just unfortunate. But what if their dastardly deeds don't come to pass? What if they're just out there in front to scare you? It's like the monster that and you pull down the monster that's a little mouse about 3 inches tall. Right. What if it's the same thing? What if the missile being launched is never going to come to pass because they can't get it right? They can't steer or maybe the missile goes up, comes right back where they launched it and blows themselves up. We don't know what's going to happen. So why sit there and worry? I think, was it Bob Marley that sang this? Don't worry, be happy. Be happy.
I think it was. Okay, I'm not sure if it was Bob Marley.
And it might have been. I'm thinking to myself, we need to not worry and be happy. And that means not put our head in a bucket of sand.
Right.
But on the same token, do we need to believe everything we hear?
No. Now, do you feel that the media over the last 20 years has completely changed, or is it just a new rendition of what was already going on? I mean, we see the division really plainly. Is it way worse than it was, or is it just another way of presenting it, but it still was the same underlying thing?
I think it's kind of the same, but intensified. People have gotten smarter, more knowledgeable. We as people go into the doctor's office and say, can you prescribe me such and such and such and such? I mean, that was never the way it was in the 50s. In the 50s, it was like, Doc, I've got a stomach ache. What do you got? Yeah. So we become more knowledgeable, especially with the internet coming out in the 90s. We become more knowledgeable about life, about what we have medically, about what is going on in the world. Oh my gosh, a missile just got launched in the 50s. You didn't know unless it hit TV.
Right.
So it's very controlled. Now it's not so controlled, but it's embellished a little bit so that we believe that missile is going to kill us. So we believe that China is going to have a problem with us. I mean, most Americans don't like Chinese and vice versa, not because of the people. The people are actually good on both sides.
No,
it's the people that are running us.
Yes,
and they want us. They want us to come apart. And again, we say a house divided cannot stand. So if we were to join with China and be connected in a good way, the bad guy'd have nothing to do. You'd say, okay, I need you to kill so-and-so. No, we're not going to. We're friends. So it's really, I think it's about changing our thoughts, and that's changing our world. And I think God's looking at us to, he's handed us, inside us, he's handed us a supercomputer that also connects with him.
Yeah.
So we're not using that. We're just saying, here's my supercomputer. I'll hand it to Joe Biden. You do with it what you need. And I think Joe Biden's supercomputer broke.
Yeah,
So, I think it broke.
It broke.
And it's not working. And I think when you step into Congress or Senate, I think your supercomputers either ripped from you, or you have to break them to be a part of that team. I'm not sure. But I know us as people, we need to embrace what has been given to us. And that supercomputer, one of the things it puts out all the time is love. So we either direct the love and use that truthfully almost as a weapon.
Amen.
To guide and direct us to the right place, to be at the right place at the right time and see the right thing. And I think it's important for us to grasp this, because if we sit around in our bucket of fear, we're going to drown.
Folks, Ronnie McMullen's with us. GetTheT.com. That's www.getTheT.com. You made a great point, and a lot of great points. Certainly, we have to be the one that changes the atmosphere. A soft answer turns away wrath. That's a scripture I was taught as a child. In other words, you have to shine the light in the darkness. And you're right. The people of China and the people of the United States, the people of Russia, are all good people. They just want to live peaceably, have a little home, maybe a little garden, a dog in the yard. They don't want to fight with the neighbor. They sure don't want to fight with anybody from another country or across the ocean. So we're dealing with just a handful of people who run these regimes, who have they're power drunk. They've already got power in their own country, absolute power in most cases, but it's not good enough for these people. They want world dominance, some of them do, and they'll trample on anybody to get there. And really, but there's more good people than bad, is what I'm hearing you say. There's really good people outnumbers the bad. How do we change the atmosphere? And can it be done? I mean,
yes.
I think so.
We must unite. See, we have a issue. I got to be careful with my words.
Right.
We have an issue going on worldwide.
Right.
And it's dividing the people, because you're either going to do something or you're not going to do something.
Right.
And if you're not going to do something, then we might have to put you in a happy camp. So this is ridiculous. And we go on the freeway and it says, make sure you get your goodies. And we're sitting on a freeway sign to get your goodies. Are you kidding me? Why is it on a freeway sign? Shouldn't that be in a hospital? Shouldn't that be in an urgent care? Why is it on a grocery store? Why is it on a traffic sign? And this is where you start saying, and why are we punished to have freedom of choice? Why are we punished that we cannot talk about it on YouTube? And why are these big moguls, the Bezos of the world, the Gates of the world, why do they get to run the world just because they have all the money?
Right.
And this is something, if we as people, and this is really true, we as people united and we put our money together, we'd have tons more money than they have.
Right.
And destroy them with their own problem. So this is a situation where we need to sit down, get smart, and truthfully connect with the divine to get guidance, because we're in trouble. I mean, think about this. So, Paul, you wake up in the morning, you go, man, this world's crazy. I don't want to live in the United States anymore. I want to live somewhere peaceful, loving, the people are nice, the government takes care of you. And I don't mean financially necessarily, but they're there to help you, guide you.
Yeah.
A good king. Yeah, like a good king.
Yeah.
But guess what? There's nowhere to go. This isn't something that's happening in the United States. It's happening in Mexico. Australia is locked down. England is a leader of lockdown. Canada, terrible. United States. So point being, China, they're all wearing masks. So all this stuff is going on. There's nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. And I think people are looking at this and saying, there's only one place to go, and that's heaven.
Right.
And they take their own life wanting to go to that place because there's nowhere to go here.
Despair. They're in despair, Ronnie.
Yes.
They feel helpless. They feel hopeless. They don't see, this is why suicide rates are rising. This is why homelessness is rising. This is why despair, anger, frustration.
Yes.
Sometimes violence, who knows? People act out in different ways. And you're right. People are just saying, you know what? I guess the best thing I do is just try to hang on, and I hope I can just leave here. I just want to go to another place. Though this world is completely gone. This is a sad moment in time.
Yes.
I don't know if we've ever been here, and we talk about Bible prophecy all the time. We look at the Bible and we say, okay, what does the scripture say? What does the prophecy say? Yeah, it's going to get worse and worse. But we've never been here. We've never been here.
You look at Germany back in the 30s, it was worse than this.
Yeah.
But that was just Germany.
Just Germany.
That wasn't the whole world.
No.
And this is where we're heading, is to the days of Germany. This is where we're heading unless we stop, take back our power, and get rid of these goofballs that are acting like they're our leaders, because they're not our leaders. They're wolf in sheep's clothing.
Right.
And we need to take care of this. This is something that if we don't, and what's really sad is on top of all of this, people are sick.
Yeah.
Because they're spraying chemicals, they're putting GMO foods, they're putting all kinds of pesticides on our food. They're making us sick. So we have all these sick problems. And then supposedly we're supposed to have pharmaceuticals to help us, and those pharmaceuticals are making us even more sick or giving us more problems. So we have the world problem. On top of that, we're looking through sick eyes to see the world's problems. So we're not healthy in the brain. We're not healthy in our heart. We're not healthy anywhere. How can we be guided when we're not feeling good? And that's the kicker.
Well, that leads us to why you're so important, I think, in this time we're in. And that's getthetea.com. That's www.getthetea.com. Ronnie, okay, people are a mess with all of this external pressure and bad news and fear. So their guts hurting. They can't eat. They're woofing, or they're overeating bad stuff. They're being poisoned. So give us some advice. We gotta get this thing turned around. Where do we start? Do we start with first detox, get toxins? Well, where do we go? How do we start?
Okay, so here's where I'm going to go. It's kind of crazy, but everybody knows I'm a little crazy anyway. So the first thing, think about what they are telling us. Okay. What they are telling us, you want to do almost exactly the opposite. So they're saying, don't go outside. Don't work in your garden. Okay, so what do you think you should do? Maybe go outside and work in your garden.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. They say, don't exercise at the gym. Okay, well, maybe we can't go to the gym. They're going to lock them down again. That's fine, whatever they want to do. So make our own little gym, go in the backyard and do your own calisthenics, or do it inside. Get out of the house and breathe the air.
Right.
It's important.
Very
Drink
important.
lots of water. Do some exercise. Believe it or not, when you start moving that body, things start happening in a good way. Drink your water. Drink your tea. My products are supplements. They're not going to cure you. They're going to help you. But so is exercise. So is water. Lots of water. Drinking lots of water. Here's the kicker. Turn the supercomputer on. Yeah. Turn the supercomputer on, and let's go back to the song. Don't worry. Be happy. So think about happy thoughts when you're working out, or when you're working in the garden, or when you're doing something outside a project. Think about happy thoughts. Think about, if you're older, think about your grandkids. If you're younger, think about your grandparents or your parents. or your best friend. I just lost the best friend, and I would give any amount of money to say goodbye to him. So take care of the moments. Be in the moments. Supplements are so important. They really are. But eating right is important. So you can't go eat ding-dongs and Twinkies and juicy, greasy hamburgers and take a supplement and think you're going to be fine. You're crazy. You need to change your diet. You don't have to eat, super crazy or whatever.
Right.
Make sure you get some greens in there. Then the supplements have something to grab onto to help and start working, powering through. Drink water. Drinking soda, you're killing yourself.
Yeah.
Drink water. And I'm not trying to beat up people that are soda drinkers or, that's not my goal. It's just that we don't realize how bad that this good stuff is making us feel. And when you cleanse yourself of all the bad stuff, you'll find yourself thinking differently and being able to power up your supercomputer that was a gift from God.
GetTheT.com, folks. Here it is. GetTheT.com. This is going to help. First of all, it tastes great. It tastes great. And I always start there. But more importantly, even than the wonderful taste, is the fact that your body absorbs this tea, is able to start detoxing immediately, cleanse the gut. This is the tea that makes you go. No question about that. And as that happens, you're detoxing, you're cleansing, you're creating a flow in the digestive system. It makes more sense. And you will feel better because the bad stuff's gone. Now then all you got to do is you got to start feeding yourself with better stuff, better healthy foods. And then the supplements. Here's one, Minerals Plus. I just happen to have this one sitting right here by me. Okay, Minerals Plus. Again, Ronnie, I went to St. Augustine, Florida last Friday, and I drank from the Fountain of Youth. Okay, all right. Mm-hmm. It's got 30 different types of minerals in it. All right, that's fine. But guess what? That's really not, that's a mythical, I got to do more than just make a trip to St. Augustine. I mean, there's going to have to be some serious changes in my life. Am I right?
Exactly. And Minerals Plus has 70 trace minerals in it. So
wow.
It's a good, and here's another thing people maybe don't know. If you're too diabetic, you're getting drained minerals. So make sure that you're eating your minerals. It's going to help you feel better. It's going to help with blood sugar. It's going to help a lot. And because, speaking of type 2 diabetics, one of our specials this month is the Takedown Special, which is our Takedown supplement, our cinnamon, which is really nice. Cinnamon's a nice balancer for your blood. And then, of course, the tea, because you got to get cleansed. So that's one special. And then for those of you that are having allergy problems, you might want to try our other special, which is bee pollen and tea. Tea cleans you out. Bee pollen helps you with your allergies. So we put them on sale. And, of course, if you put Paul in the coupon code, hit apply, bam, free shipping. And a lot of companies right now raising prices. They're doing a lot of crazy stuff. I'm putting things on sale and trying to get, because I'll tell you something, my product works, but my product doesn't work in my warehouse sitting on my shelf. It doesn't do anything.
I can tell you the bee pollen definitely works. I have struggled with allergy my entire life. Spring allergies, summer allergies, and then fall allergies. And I travel a lot. I go from hotel room to hotel room, different places, allergies, differences everywhere. Since I started taking bee pollen, it was during a period, I would say it took about 4 months of consistently taking bee pollen that all of a sudden I didn't need to spray anything up my nose. I didn't need to do anything. I didn't need to Claritin. Allergies just seemed to dissipate, just seemed to go away. And I'm thinking, could it be that this bee pollen is actually giving me a natural way of protecting me from reaction to allergies of different pollen and mold and whatever? I mean, does that do that, Ronnie?
Many people have had incredible success with bee pollen. So, I don't have a ton of allergies, but if I do start sneezing, I start hitting the bee pollen and see how it goes. And it always seems to help.
So, again, and when you start talking about takedown, I think you're saying I think you're referring to blood pressure, certainly sugar.
Sugar,
Yeah.
yes.
So this is a really deal. I mean, we get emails sometimes from people saying, "Hey, you know what? My sugar is much better. This has made a difference." Even some people say, "My blood pressure is better." I think maybe they change a diet, help that. I don't know, but this takedown really does affect the glucose. It really does affect the. Does it help the pancreas? What does it do?
It does a lot of, helps the pancreas, helps the liver, helps drive blood sugar down. I got to be careful what I say here, but helps support your blood sugar levels. And this is something that, it's probably one of the best type 2 helpers, I'll use that word, helpers on the market. If more people knew about it, I'd be out of stock.
I'm going to ask you a question. Now, this one is bothering me. Folks, oh, by the way, go to getthetea.com. Go to www.getthetea.com. And Brock's putting the phone number across the screen there and everything else. So you can call that number, call in an order, okay? Use the promo code Paul. Get the free shipping. Don't mess with that. Get the free shipping. Now, Ronnie, I know that you're not allowed to really say a lot about your products. Really, it's real benefits that you should be allowed to say. But I'm sitting there watching news, and there's a product out there called Natural Balance or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, if I was spend 3 hours watching television on Fox News, if I do, I will see 10 commercials for this product in the evening.
Wow.
And they talk about how it does this for me, it does this for me, it does this, it controls this. I mean, they just flat brag on all the ailments you can name. And I'm thinking, okay, they're doing this on television. Does Fox own this product? Why are they allowed to say all the things that it does, but some of the alternative supplement companies and alternative medicine opportunities like yours, why aren't they allowed to say it? So what's going on here? Is there
money talks and everything else walks?
So they're picking and choosing the winners and losers? Is that what's going on?
Well, sometimes these big boys, and I don't know what product you're talking about, so I don't want to damage them or anything, but a lot of times, first of all, TV commercials cost tons and tons and tons of money.
Right.
Especially if you're in prime time or on a certain channel that hits big bucks. You're seeing this quite often. It means they've got a lot of money. If it's an all-natural product, then maybe it's been bought and paid for by a pharmaceutical company, which is what's trying to happen right now. Pharmaceutical companies are trying to buy all the supplement companies, so then they can kill the supplement company